Watkins Glen this weekend. Obviously, road course racing is something that the number 9 team has proven to be very successful at. So we appreciate you giving us some time. And we're going to go ahead and poll for questions. If you have questions for Alan, go ahead and raise your hand. We're going to get to as many questions as we can in the time that we have with him. And to kick us off, we're going to go to Claire B. Lane. Go ahead, Claire.
Thank you, and happy birthday, Alan. I hope you carve some time out to celebrate big time, celebrate you. So have a great birthday. Yeah, you got it. Do you feel like, as you look at Penske Racing and the changes there, crew chief for Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski leaving, and Roush Fenway Racing with what's going on there, Brad Keselowski entering, that the solidity of Hendrick Motorsports as we move ahead, not only in 2022, but preparing for it, is really going to give you guys a jump in order to, I guess, fend off those changes in a unique season with the next gen car?
I really hadn't thought about it, to be honest with you. Certainly, I knew Todd was leaving, and he's chosen to retire, so that's vacant, and I'm sure they'll find somebody who's really good for that. Todd, it's going to be big shoes to fill. Todd's done a great job, not only with Ryan, but with Joey. So, you just never know. It can be an advantage and it can be a disadvantage. It can be opportunity to bring in some new perspective and some energy, or it could be, time spent getting somebody up to speed. So it's just really tough to say. Brad leaving and kind of doing, solidifying where he's going to go after his driving career and working through that. Same thing, it could be a significant advantage for him, and it could re-energize him and motivate him, or it can be a tough transition and a distraction. So it's just really tough for me to say. For us, I think it's just all about us focusing on what we can do to be the best we can. And I feel like if we're at our best, then certainly we're, competitive to win races and championships. So it's really, to me, always been about Hendrick Motorsports optimizing what we can control. And, Mr. Hendrick gives us the resources, and Chevrolet and all our partners give us what we need to win. And it's just up to us to optimize it and do what we can internally to be the best we can. If we can do that, then regardless of what goes on around us, we're going to be in good shape.
Every storyline heading into this weekend, is about Chase Elliott and does he three-peat? How do you use that as motivation? Obviously, he's very talented in the road course area and at Watkins Glen, and kind of not have it serve as a distraction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just, I try not to pay attention to any of the talk, positive or negative, and not let that influence me. I mean, that's personally how I handle it, and I try to lead, by example for my guys, and it's what we've accomplished in the past is great, and we're super proud of that. But it's ultimately not going to really do much for us this weekend, besides us knowing, the lessons we've learned from racing there and being successful. So we still have to do our jobs, and we still have to be prepared, and we still have to be ready, and we still have to execute, and just focus on those things and racing it, like it's your last race, and doing the best you can. And we try to do that every week.
Good luck and enjoy your birthday today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Our next question will come from Bob Poppers. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Alan, you talk about racing like it's your last race, but how much of this is racing like it's your last race, and how much of it is learning to make sure you're at your best road course when it comes to the Roval?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some significant differences. Obviously Watkins Glen's its own entity. The track's much different than the Roval. The backwards pit stops at Watkins Glen, aren't unique to Watkins Glen, but certainly not something that we'll take to the Roval. So it is a bit more of its own entity, I think, than normal. So it's certainly going to apply to Indianapolis, the pit stop side of it, and then the course configuration in Indy is probably going to be more like the Roval than it is than Watkins Glen will be. So yeah, you're always trying to consistently improve and learn and push forward. But to me, Watkins Glen is really a lot about Watkins Glen. I mean, you're always learning, but I think in this situation, it's more about that track because it's pretty specific.
Okay, we're going to take our next question. Oh, Bob, go ahead. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I'm having some internet issues. So I was just curious if, like, you lost 25 points. Has that impacted any of your decision making at all? And how much do you get involved as far as, you know, I mean, I know you're not involved in what engines go in the car, but like, so, but do you have to do anything yourself just to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate mistake, and we're all in this together. And you know, that's not necessarily my specific job, engine scheduling, but I think there's some things we could have done as a team to be a safety net to make sure that doesn't happen again. And yeah, we've learned a lot of lessons from that, and it's it's an unfortunate error and oversight. And yeah, so the 25 points hurts. You know, we're trying to make it as far up the points ladder as we can for those bonus points, and we've made some progress. And then we, getting DQ'd at Nashville was a big hit, and then the 25 points here is a hit. So it hasn't really changed my perspective, but it's not a good thing. Certainly stuff we got to clean up and not have moving forward. And there's certainly been a pretty big points impact. So. To answer your question, no, I don't think it's changed, our perspective. And yes, I think there's things that we can do. We're big enough. There's always opportunities for second, third, and fourth, checks and verifications, and that is something we just got to stay on top of and stay on our toes so it doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
No, you don't have good Wi-Fi in NYC there, Bobby, or what?
All right, we're going to take our next question.
Tech out here today.
Go ahead, John.
Happy birthday, Alan. I'm just wondering how much influence or how much did the years with Jeff help you with Chase? You guys have had such incredible success.
Yeah, I mean, my years with Jeff absolutely has helped me, be a better crew chief and really a better person in general. And the experience with him was amazing. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that, I've learned a ton from Jeff and still learn a lot from Jeff. And, he's an amazing person and has gone through a lot and has a ton of experience. And yeah, so absolutely. I think that's helped me, get to a better spot. And, not only Jeff, I mean, I certainly owe Jeff a tremendous gratitude and a lot for what he's done for me, but, Mark and Kyle and other guys that I've worked with too, absolutely have been a huge part in helping me, become the crew chief that I am. And the experience that I've had with them, they pay off. Certainly very valuable.
Okay, our next question will come from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. Hey, Alan, at times we've seen it in road course races where the winner doesn't necessarily win stages. Now, obviously, the last time there at the Glen, you guys swept, and even the time before that, you won one of the stages. And I know we've seen Larson sweep the stages and win at Sonoma. Has the game changed in terms of how the strategies played out, or has it been a case where these were instances where cars were so much faster that could maintain control of the race?
Yeah, I think the speed of the car certainly had a lot to do with it, and that helps. And then it's a bit circumstantial, I think. And depending on your fuel windows and where they fall, and can you make it to the end, and that's what gets tough at Watkins Glen. So I would say if I had to answer the question with one answer, I would say the performance of the car is really the bigger indicator in that. I don't think it's necessarily changed the optimal strategy play. Really, if Larson probably does that at Sonoma, he just wins by more. So but doesn't get the points. But yeah, I think there was some risk involved in that situation, and there always is a little bit of risk involved. When those guys short the stages to get back in traffic. So if you have a good enough car, you can overcome it, and you certainly have to be careful not to get into any incidents or damage your car. But yeah, I think it's doable, and mainly based on the performance of the car.
And forgive me because I'm thinking off the top of my head, but I'm thinking back to the Daytona road course race, and I know each race is different, but was that something because of the way the pit strategy went? You guys got further back there, and he got collected in some traffic, it messed up.
Yeah.
Was that a learning lesson, or were you more in the right position? Because that if things would have played out, you guys would have had the fresher tires, and that would have been a better situation for you.
Well, I mean, if you rewind that race, we were leading at the time. The 20 was second. I think that we were the two best cars. I do feel like we were slightly better than the 20, but not much. Really pretty close and even. We pitted and didn't get a great, lineup, lane, whatever you want to call it on the restart, and didn't get a good restart, and the 20 was able to make it through the first incident, and we weren't, and he won the race, and we finished pretty dismally. But the flip side of it is the 22 finished second and stayed out, and he certainly didn't have the caliber of car that we did or the 20 did. So you can second guess these things to death. I would have rather, hindsight being 2020 in the circumstance we get put in, I would have stayed out in that situation. But you just don't ever know. I mean, you just never know. I mean, 5 more cars pit. The rough thing about Daytona, which when you're at the sharp end, and I'm not being negative to the guys I'm going to talk about. It's just tough, and they're trying to run their race. But when you're at the sharp end, you're trying to win. You're basically focusing on the guys that are directly around you. But if there's guys that are running in, the 20th, 25th spot, they stay out, and now you're stacked up, which happened at Daytona. It gets tough, and then you have much faster guys that are coming through with tires around cars that stayed out. For a little track position gain, and then you just never know what's going to happen. So, ideally you want to stay on the front side of that and not subject yourself to that potential, issues. But at the same time, if we were to stay out, the risk we have, the concern there is people identify us as the best car or one of the best cars, and, very difficult to beat. And then we're leading the race and we stay out, and they see that, then everybody else, pulls down pit road, and you feel like, Lewis Hamilton did stay on the grid by yourself, right? And you're done. You're really in a bad position there. So it's what makes it so tough, right? That's what makes it so much fun, and that's why it's so great to win these races, because it's tough to make all the calls right and all the circumstances go your way. And Daytona, we didn't get it done. It didn't, wasn't the right call for the circumstances, and then we didn't execute the call. So we didn't get it done. That's just no other way to put it. But I think those things, it's a long-winded way, but just those things factor in every week, and you just have to navigate them.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, and our final question is going to come from Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us today on your birthday. I can think you probably have like 1,000 other things you'd rather be doing, but since Kyle Larson joined the fold, how has it elevated the level of competition among the halls of Hendrick Motorsports?
Yeah, I mean, he's an amazing driver. He's as good as anybody out there, and he brings a huge amount of talent, and then he's got I don't know, just a tenacity about him that he's just, he wants to win, and he wants to win everything he races. And I think the best way to describe it is I heard him say this in an interview recently, that he said he wanted to be the best race car driver ever, like period, not just the best stock car driver. Like, he wants to be the best race car driver of all time, which is how he races. So he brings that level of competitiveness and that talent, and he's really good. So it ups everybody's, you know, he sets a bar that's high that everybody wants to clip. So it elevates the talent, or however you want to describe it. And yeah, I think it trickles down through all facets of our company.
Are you kind of surprised that Chase had that desire to go and run dirt? I mean, now he's running the BC 39. I mean, he's not screwing around. I mean, you know, when you just have that limited of experience and you jump into places like Chili Bowl or, you know, wherever, it's you know, it's a handful. It's a challenge.
It's a huge challenge. And I mean, I commend him, and, you know, he's got a lot of guts, right? And he's willing to go out there at a young age and with no experience, where a lot of people are insecure and won't put themselves out there like that to get the experience. You know, and it'd be easy. He just won a Cup championship. It'd been easy for him to sit at home and you know, tweet about the race, right? But he goes out there and jumps in and knows he's going to be in really a very, very difficult situation to be successful, and he goes and enjoys it and learns from it. So I commend him. You know, there's no doubt in my mind, with time, he will win anything he drives. There's just no question to me. He just needs some time, and, you know, and to be in this situation, that's the right situation. And I think he'll get there. And I think it's great he does it. And I think it's great he's experiencing it. And, you know, life's short. You got to go out there and enjoy it. And I know those guys, I've heard from both those guys and Alex too. You know, when they go to race those races, it's so much about just the pure pleasure of driving, and there's not all of the other, you know, constraints and demands on those guys. So I think it's great that they can keep it fresh and go out there and really have a good time. And certainly it's going to make them better when they drive Cup cars or whatever else it is. So yeah, for all of them, certainly Chase for putting himself out there with no experience. And like I said, I'm very confident he's going to be at the top sooner or later. Just probably sooner than later. He just needs a little time.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
All right. Well, Alan, thank you again for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. And we wish you the best of luck this weekend at Watkins Glen.
Thank you.